Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NewYorkRedBulls.com for New York Red Bulls 2 USL matchup against the Charlotte Independents. It is a perfect Wednesday night here for soccer. The temperature's cooling off. The sun is setting. The grass is perfectly cut here at Red Bull Arena, and the crowd is ready for what is an exciting playoff matchup here between New York and Charlotte. New York Red Bulls 2 were down in Charlotte just a week ago for the first ever matchup between these two teams in their history, and that one ended in an exciting, open, end-to-end 2-2 draw for the Charlotte Independents. Dominic Baji, on loan from their MLS affiliate, the Colorado Rapids, got 2 goals in that game. He is hurt today and is not back in the starting lineup for New York Red Bulls 2. An interesting starting lineup. They had 2 games in 4 days on the road. First last Wednesday against Charlotte, and then over the weekend, a 4-2 loss against the Wilmington Hammerheads. They get a little bit of reinforcement from both their youth academy as well as the first team, the Major League Soccer New York Red Bulls team, and it gives John Wolyniec a few options in his lineup for New York. They'd been unbeaten in 4 of 5 before that loss to Wilmington, and they are absolutely playing the best soccer of the season before going down and struggling a little bit in that loss to Wilmington. Talking to Coach Wolyniec before the game, haven't had a lot of time since that Wilmington loss to really adjust things coming in here because of the short time span. Also bringing in those first-team players he feel like may help them a little bit. This is a team like the first New York team that wants the high press. They want to force teams into turnovers. They want to attack quickly. Feels like they've struggled a little bit at being in bad positions when they turn over the ball. And for Charlotte, 0-4-3 on the road in USL play, coming in here at 6-6, currently sitting in 8th place in the USL Eastern Conference standings. But they have games in hand, 3 games in hand on the 6th place team, 4 games in hand on these New York Red Bulls 2, and only 7 points back of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. So plenty of opportunity still for Charlotte to make a run, but they're going to have to do it now. Not a lot of time left. This game against New York, and then a home series coming up against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who currently sit in the last playoff spot in 6th place in the Eastern Conference. And sorry to say it, folks, but the summer is beginning to wind down as we head towards the USL playoff season, and we're in for a treat tonight. A strong Charlotte Independence squad. You see there Anatol Abong back in this New York Red Bulls 2 lineup for the first time in months, and Roy Miller, the World Cup veteran, wearing the armband. It should be a good one here today. We're going to go down to the PA for the national anthems, and we'll be back here with your starting lineups as well as your first half action here on NewYorkRedBulls.com. You see the crowd out here and ready to go for this one, and let's get to our starting lineups. For Coach Mike Jeffries, formerly of Major League Soccer, Matt Lamson, still on loan from Columbus Crew. His loan extended, starts in goal. Henry Kalungi, the one change to that back four from the last matchup. Bilal Duckett Mishak Jerome, the Haitian national teamer, and Patrick Slogic across that back line. DePiccolo, as well as Andrew Ribeiro, who wears the captain's armband today, in the holding midfield role. Daniel Jackson in for the injured Baji. Enzo Martinez in the attacking midfield role. And Carlos Alvarez still on loan from the Colorado Rapids. And up top, Tomasz Zahorski, the Polish international, one of the leading goal scorers on this team, and definitely one of the danger men for the New York Red Bulls, too, to watch. And for New York Red Bulls, too, an experienced backline. Sean McLaws in his 16th start here in USL action. Ronald Zubar returns, his first start since June. Mike DeFont, who has been a mainstay on this team. And as I said, the captain tonight, the World Cup veteran Roy Miller. Devin Speedy Williams, who's come into this team a month ago and has started every game since then, will partner Bolo Akinyode in the holding midfield role. Leo Stoltz coming off a goal against this Charlotte team last week in the attacking midfield role. Manolo Sanchez on loan from the first team. Anatol Abang, who when he left was the leading scorer for this USL team and has been electric in USL, returns to this New York Red Bulls 2 team. And Brian Saramago gets the start here today, coming up from the academy. Saramago, a year younger than the players who have been playing out of the academy with this team, and gets the chance to get the start here in his third USL appearance of the season, and an exciting opportunity for that young player. Coach Wolnick didn't have the opportunity to play any of his academy players over the last 2 games, and so gets that chance to get one in here today. Fans are ready to go here at Red Bull Arena. Our head referee today, Jaime Herrera. Our assistant referees, Thomas Felice and Ash Campbell. And our fourth official, Andrew Eitel, as we are ready to get this one started. Charlotte Independence in their road blues. New York Red Bulls, too, in their home whites with red shorts. This should be a good one. Anatol Abang gets us started. New York looking to work it around the back. For Charlotte, they played New York last week, and then they've had the full week off waiting for this game. So for Coach Mike Jeffries, an opportunity to get some players healthy as well as to adjust a little bit his game plan. Never easy playing against this New York Red Bulls 2 team, as you're never really sure what type of lineup you're going to see. But the philosophy always remains the same, Coach Wolnick's team. Sean McLaws here playing at right back. It's been Jamie Thomas in that position over the last few games. McLaws has shown versatility playing center back as well as both fullback positions on this team. Saramago very patient. Akinyode slipping into some space here. Puts the ball over the top towards Manolo Sanchez, and Matt Lamson out. Takes it easily. John Berner was the starting goalkeeper coming into this last few games. He continues to be out with an injury. Injury, not a word that is happily said around the Charlotte Independence parts currently, as we'll get into their injury issues. So John Berner on loan from the Colorado Rapids. He's on the bench. Excuse me, he's still hurt. So Lamson gets the start. First opportunity here for Charlotte, and the save made. Santi Castaño, the diving save there on Daniel Jackson. And just as we saw last week when these two teams met up, end-to-end action to start. Roy Miller chasing down Jackson, and Daniel Jackson, the one thing he brings above all else to the game is his pace. Doesn't get that shot far enough away. Castaño able to parry it and go out and take it cleanly. Jackson at a Cumberland University and then Coker College. It's a 4th-round super draft pick by RSL. Wasn't able to stick around at all. Spent last season with the Carolina Railhawks. Had really been nowhere near the first team here in Charlotte over the past few weeks. And then finally got himself back in, got a goal against Louisville, and then started versus New York last week and gets the start here again at right midfield. And last week, it was Daniel Bedoya getting a chance on goal about 2 minutes in that Matt Lamson was forced to make a save. See Coach Wolnick there. One of the things he wanted to key on coming into this game was being prepared to defend when they turned the ball over. And we saw right there Charlotte forcing a turnover and immediately able to counter. Anatola Bong up now. Gives a much different look up top in that center forward role than Chris Sanis. Has been absolutely electric when he's played on this NYRB2 team. He's got 4 goals in his 5 games played. This now his 6th of the season. Slotted right into the first team and started scoring goals for fun at the MLS level over the last few weeks as Mike Grella as well as Sean Wright Phillips have come into the team and found minutes a little bit harder at the first team level. Scored a few weeks ago against the Philadelphia Union. Hasn't played over the last 2 games, and so getting an opportunity here to get some minutes. Patrick Slogic, the 6'6" left back for the Charlotte Independents there. Has the ability to get forward, though. It's 2 goals so far this season. Always a threat on set pieces with his height. Kalungi here, the fullback getting forward. Gets it wide to Jackson. He's got Alvarez on the far post. Flicked on there by McClaws. Well, won by him. Charlotte looks to keep it in. Coach Mike Jeffries has put together a very professional squad here in Charlotte. A lot of players who have played internationally as well as in Major League Soccer. Mike Jeffries himself, a very experienced player and coach. He was an assistant coach on the 1998 Chicago Fire team. He coached Jesse Marsh as well as Chris Armas. Dennis Hamlet was an assistant alongside of him. Those 3 now a part of the New York Red Bulls setup. Mike Jeffries leading the Charlotte Independents in their inaugural season in the USL. Long there battling, able to keep it. Leo Stoltz here. Good interchange between them. Stoltz trying to keep it alive. Saramago loses out. Throw in now to New York. Roy Miller now. The throw in lost. Miller here, starting out the year as the starting left back for New York Red Bulls in Major League Soccer. Started in 5 of his 6 appearances. Struggling for minutes a little bit over the last few games, and therefore getting an opportunity here in USL. Make sure to visit uslsoccer.com, get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub. That's uslsoccer.com. Great place to keep up with all the action as we come down this final stretch. The beauty of these schedules for these teams, mainly conference games for both teams. For a team like New York, who are geographically located so far east, they only play Eastern Conference games, is now you have a lot of those 6-pointers. Games between teams that are sitting so close to each other in the standings makes it so much fun, brings that playoff energy here to the regular season, and we've really seen it ramp up over the last few weeks. Akinyode coming away with that one, but Jaime Herrera making the call against him. Andrew Ribeiro ready to take now. Ribeiro, an All-American at Creighton University. Been so solid throughout this season, starting in every single game for Coach Jeffries. Coach Jeffries have had a lot of solid players he's been able to rely on. Patrick Slogic, now 16 starts on the year. Bilal Duckett as well, Andrew Ribeiro said. At the same time, a couple of big missing players in this one. Jorge Herrera, the offensive spark for this team, missing out on this one with an injury. He's got 3 goals and 5 assists. He's been the set piece taker for this team. He's been one of the main offensive outlets. Alex Martinez, younger brother of Enzo Martinez, starting here today, who's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 15 starts so far this season. currently out. He was suspended last week on yellow card accumulation, missing the game this week as he's dealing with some visa issues. Originally born in Uruguay before moving to the United States as a young boy. So he's unavailable here today, and those are two of the big offensive sparks for this team. So Carlos Alvarez and Enzo Martinez are going to have to try and carry that load here today, but they do get a nice boost in Tomasz Zahorski, the 30-year-old Polish international, returning to the lineup. He's only started now 5 games this season. He's got 2 goals and an assist in those 5 games. Was an NASL best 11 player with the San Antonio Scorpions, as well as getting a handful of caps for the Polish national team. So he's a player, the ability to finish if he gets his opportunities, as well as an experienced head on the field. That foul goes against Saramago. Coach Wolnick getting the opportunity to start Saramago, said he was phenomenal in training this week. Scored a lot of goals, started well, or had a good playoff run for the academy team, the Red Bull U17, U18 team over the last few weeks. Felt he earned the opportunity to get the start here today. Of course, the generation a year above him has gotten plenty of playing time with this New York team, as that dummy's won by Roy Miller. Players like Derek Etienne, who was a star here. We've seen Juan Sebastian Sanchez have a couple great games over the past few weeks, as well as Ethan Lochner, a lot of them beginning their college seasons. So now it's time for the next generation to start to get blooded with this New York team. Taken away from Abang. So Piccolo, and now Alvarez. One off him by Stoltz. Leo Stoltz playing a bit more advanced in this game than he has over the past few. Long ball over the top from Zubar. This back four, clearly a back four that's never started together in any form of the league. So Zubar will have to marshal that back line. Don't forget to become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. That's USL on Facebook. One there by Akinyode. Charlotte Independence, while looking for their first league victory on the road of the season, did get one road win, and it may have been their toughest opponent, the New England Revolution, last year's MLS Cup finalists. They knocked them off in the US Open Cup. They were the USL team that went the furthest in this year's US Open Cup. They were actually the lower division team that went the furthest. This one comes in from Stoltz. Tola Bong falls over. McClaws with the cross. Charlotte Independence eventually falling to the Chicago Fire in the quarterfinals. Chicago Fire moving on to face off against the Philadelphia Union here tonight in the US Open Cup semifinals. We'll keep you updated with that one as it's starting at the same time. Still 0-0 there in the 10th minute. And we're so glad that you chose to join us here on NewYorkRedBulls.com for this USL matchup. These two teams currently in the dogfight to stay in the Eastern Conference playoffs. The whole conference trailing the Rochester Rhinos the entire season. The Rochester Rhinos, they've lost one game, and it was to these Charlotte Independents, a 4-2 result 2 weeks ago, giving Charlotte a lot of confidence. They then went, as I said, to draw New York the game after, and 2-0-2 in their last 4 games, so on the longest undefeated streak of their franchise's history. They've done a lot of work to build their club out. Of course, the player system, Mike Jeffries in his first year. Ramblewood Soccer Complex has been redone to give them a great home field advantage. The Charlotte soccer market grows. The Charlotte Eagles were a staple of USL. They dropped themselves down to the PDL. And the Charlotte Independents have taken over. They're looking for a playoff berth in their first season. Castano there, pouring his distribution, and it goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Kalungi gets it in. Still alive there. Del Piccolo losing it. New York working it around the back. Castano didn't get a start in the last game. Rafael Diaz did against the Charlotte Independents. Diaz giving up 2 goals, but making a handful of phenomenal saves to keep the team in it besides those 2 goals. Doesn't have the opportunity to start much this season, but has been great in the few games that he has played. Here comes the set piece for the Charlotte Independents. Paulo Di Piccolo standing over it. That's where Jorge Herrera is normally. Piccolo floats this one in. Castano goes up and wins it. Not easy, just over the head of the 6'6" Logic. And now Castano trying to put it right into the path of a bong. Well read in the end by Mishak Jerome. And then the mistake from him, of course, off the compliment. This one floated in here from Del Piccolo. A lot of height to use as a weapon on set pieces for this Charlotte Independence team. Coach Jeffries mentioned it when he said how much they've missed the service of Herrera on set pieces. So this is a big advantage for this team. Just haven't had the service over the last few games that they've come to expect with Herrera in the lineup. Stoltz here with space. Gets the cross in over the head of a bong. McClaw's closing, and Carlos Alvarez nods it out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick, the first of the game for New York Red Bulls 2. Sean McClaw's there closing space to keep the attack alive. Manolo Sanchez on loan from the first team, as well as Leo Stoltz. They both played heavy minutes here for the New York Red Bulls 2, trying to find the breakthrough. Leo Stoltz now with the service. High, Zubar goes up to get it, cleared off the line. Ronald Zubar in his return to the field, trying to get himself an early goal. The service here from Stoltz, perfect. Letting the ball die right on the top of the 6. And Zubar just couldn't get his on frame. New York Red Bulls 2 now back in, knocking it around the midfield. Bolo Akinyode looks to set his teammates up, almost loses possession, but is able to keep it and get it to the feet of Mike DeFont. Bong now dropping deep, misplacing that pass. Anatola Bong, a tall physical presence, but composed on the ball, has good technique. Never worried to drop deep and play with the ball at his feet with defenders around him. Williams now working him and DeFont out of trouble. Devin Speedy Williams, the native of Jamaica, who we've seen special ability to strike from distance, but also great composure under pressure. Coach Wolnick said when he came on board, he never plays outside of himself, knows how many touches to take, knows how to make that simple pass. And we've seen that to be true since he's come into this team. It's helped New York not have to worry so much about the injury and now the loss to the U17 national team of Tyler Adams. Stoltz here with the ball over the top. Saramago is taken off of his head by Lamson. Make sure to follow New York Red Bulls 2 on Twitter and Facebook at NYRB2. Join the conversation for this match on social media using the hashtag NYVCLT. And any supporters of the Charlotte Independents, we welcome you. If you're listening from the Mecklenburg Bar, as Manolo Sanchez takes that strike just wide of the far post. Here, about 18 minutes in, The New York Red Bulls 2 hosting the Charlotte Independents. New York coming in at 9-8-5, 32 points on the season. The Independents coming in at 6-6-6, 24 points on the season. Physical aerial win by Zubar. Bong goes by one. Was trying to play Stoltz into space, able to keep possession now. Roy Miller coming forward. Now Williams to Manolo Sanchez. Slogic with the tackle. And Jaime Herrera does blow the whistle eventually, though waiting a couple minutes. And now Akinyode in a little bit of an altercation. The few Charlotte Independence players. He wanted to take the free kick quickly. Enzo Martinez going out of his way to get in front of him and to make sure that he couldn't. And now it's going to be a free kick opportunity for New York. Leo Stoltz lining this one up. Coach Wolenek trusting his German midfielder, although this is perfect shooting space for Speedy Williams. And it looks like Jaime Herrera's issued a yellow card. I'll get you confirmation as soon as I have it on that. Coach Wolenek's a little bit confused as well. So Leo Stoltz now waiting as he lines this one up. Herrera walking off the 10 yards. Stoltz has Miller and McClaws to his side as Alvarez and Enzo Martinez stand in the wall. Stoltz clips it over the top, cleared away by Charlotte. Still on the top of the box. You get confirmation there on that yellow card as Charlotte looks to break. Alvarez has a step on McClaws. McClaws able to close and make the tackle. Great work there from Sean McClaws not to give up on the play to help out his back line. So we get that confirmation in the 20th minute. Akinyode picking up the yellow card. First of the game for either team. Akinyode getting caught in a little bit of an off-the-ball altercation there. Earns him the yellow. Corner kick coming in here. One on the far post there by Roy Miller. Speedy Williams trying to live up to his name there. He's able to get to it first. Now Anatola Bond keeps it alive. He's by Mishak Jerome. Alvarez closing on him. Tries to go between the two of them. Mishak Jerome. Great work from him not to give up on the play and eventually win that one away and back to his goalkeeper. Anatola Bong has that little bit of something special to him. They're starting to wear down the rough edges on him. Turn him into a true professional, but has that natural ability that so many players would kill for. Don't forget, New York Red Bulls 2 upcoming home match is Saturday, August 29th as the Wilmington Hammerheads come to town. For tickets and more information on this match or any of the season, log on to NewYorkRedBulls.com or call 1-844-22-RBNY2. That's 1-844-22-RBNY2. Only 2 more home games after this one left in the USL season. Still a lot of work left to do for this team on the road. They have no easy stretch left, but they do have a lot of important games left. Daniel Jackson in here, gets by Castano. All he has to do is finish, clips it up and over to Font and in. And we have our opening goal here today as Daniel Jackson got himself an early opportunity, couldn't finish his off, gets himself a second chance and makes no mistake. Castano caught out. Jackson with the first clip around him and then calmly finishing over to Font. If he put it on the ground, it probably would have been cleared off. We'll see if anyone gets an assist on that one. I couldn't quite see if Zahorsky got a touch to it. And Daniel Jackson, such composure in his finish as he gets himself the opening goal of the game. A little bit of revenge for some missed opportunities in the last game. his third goal of the season in just his third start of the season. And in the 23rd minute, Daniel Jackson gives his team the lead. McClaws now. New York trying to tie this one back up quickly. Last time it was New York with the early goal to take the lead, forcing Charlotte to battle back. The opposite here today. Del Piccolo looking to take it quickly and not having much of a target. Abong dropping deep here, looking to create. Good 1-2 between him and Saramago. Abong drills it into the middle, cleared away. New York looking to keep it alive. Saramago trying for his first goal. Deflected away. Saramago looking poised here as he takes that next step ahead in his career. Going from playing against teenagers to professional soccer players as well as fully adult men. Stoltz now. Link up with Akinyode. Akinyode looking for the pass that just wasn't there. And now Charlotte looking to clear quickly. The foul eventually drawn there by Zahorski. Coach Jeffries before the game talking to me specifically about the last matchup, saying that he felt like they had some really good moments when they could play the ball quickly, get it off their feet quick, some 1-2 touch soccer that we saw right there to work it through this New York Red Bulls 2 team. He felt like the moment they slowed the ball down and started taking too many touches, too much dribbling was when they got themselves into some trouble. And we've seen here today, they've been able to get the ball off their feet, and they've been able to attack directly and quickly. They've been able to cause New York problems. So Horsky's played in here, and he's offsides. Does finish as you'd expect from a player of his quality, but our assistant referee quickly on that call, perfectly placed along the line to call that one offsides. Otherwise, Charlotte Independent was going to be in dreamland with a 2-0 lead early in this first half. DeFont and Zubar controlling that bat line. Not caught out on that one. For Zubar, absolutely won't see him go more than 45 minutes you have to expect here today. Coach Wolnick might even be taking him out sooner. Roy Miller probably in for about 45 minutes here today as well, as he works himself into fitness. Anatol Abong as well, the first team player. Not going to see 90. We're going to see more than probably Zubar or Miller will. Not a problem for New York because they've shown their depth all season with options off the bench. Defensively, they still have Heffron as well as Jamie Thomas off the bench. Offensively, their normal starting striker, Chris Sanas, as well as Marius Obakop, and their new signing, Stefano Bonomo, as well as Daniel Bedoya and Rafael Diaz, the two St. John's University alumni on the bench. Cleared away. Only so far as DeFont. New York looking to open up this Charlotte defense. Get themselves back into the game. Stoltz able to get by three to the far post over the head of Manolo Sanchez. He's able to keep it alive. One-on-one here with Slogic. Slogic able to stay in front of him and clip it away. Great feet for the big man there, Slogic. Playing out at left back at 6'6", might look a little awkward, but has been successful so far this season. Slogic, the staple of that Cornell Big Red defense that only gave up 11 goals 2 years ago and has brought that here to the USL. Don't forget to follow at USL on Twitter, become a league insider, and join club conversations. That's follow at USL on Twitter. Floated in here. Abong not able to flick it on. Mike DeFont looking to keep it in. Over the top, Stoltz flicks it on. No one on the end of that. rolls out for Matt Lamson. Goal kick. Lamson hasn't put under too much pressure so far in this one. Made 1 or 2 saves early on. Ronald Zubar had the corner kick header that he put on goal, but was cleared off the line by a defender. That's really been it so far for New York. On the other side, Daniel Jackson had a great chance just 3 minutes in and eventually got himself a goal in the 23rd minute to give his team the 1-0 lead. New York led 1-0 last week. Dominic Baji came back with 2 goals to make it a 2-1 lead before Leo Stoltz finished the scoring at 2-2. About 20 minutes left to play. Good 1-2 game between Abong and Miller. Williams has space. He likes to shoot from here. He's unable to get one away. Alvarez hounds him. Eventually called for the foul, clipping on the heels there. Carlos Alvarez not happy with that one. And Speedy Williams probably getting away with one there. Didn't get it off his feet quick enough. Was able to draw the foul. A good distance here, just off to the left side. A little bit over 25 yards out. Manolo Sanchez and Leo Stoltz standing over this one. And you got to wonder why Speedy Williams doesn't at least get to stand over these. We've seen his ability to hit it from distance. But it looks like it's going to be Stoltz this time. He's got the defenders lined up on the 18. Stoltz takes with the shot to the near post. Bounces and goes harmlessly wide of that near post. Nothing much for Lamson to do there. New York, another good set piece opportunity. Going to waste there. Nike's a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information, as well as Nike.com/soccer. DeFont floating that one up. Leo Stoltz here with the shooting opportunity. Got a lot of bend over it, got it up over the wall, but couldn't keep it on frame. If it bounced the way it did, you'd think it would be tough for Lamson to catch it cleanly, and maybe you have a rebound. Del Piccolo here, putting the goal scorer Jackson into space. Cleared away by Speedy Williams, helping out his back line, a little disorganized. Williams reading the play very well. Lungi here. Throws it into Enzo Martinez. Martinez allows Saramago to knock it away. Enzo Martinez, the offensive nucleus of the team here tonight, given a little bit of freedom to move around and find the game. So Horsky and Zubar battling it out. Castano comes over to help out, unable to take that one cleanly. Castano, the homegrown signing for the New York Red Bulls. A local man, Colombian Youth International. Daniel Jackson goes to the ground. Jaime Herrera calling the play dead. A free kick is called. Looked like Akiyode was the one knocked down, maybe swinging his leg while on the ground. So Charlotte Independence here with the free kick. Charlotte Independence named so because of the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence, signed in 1775 in Mecklenburg, Charlotte, North Carolina. The first Declaration of Independence from England, signed and read in the 13 colonies over a year before the eventual Declaration of Independence was read by the Continental Congress in Philadelphia. And that is your history lesson of the night. That's why the 1775 is in the crest of the independence, as well as the name. It's also led to their nickname, the Jacks, that they go by. Claus floating this cross in and tamely out for a goal kick. The Jacks are to captain James Jack, who took the independence, the Declaration of Independence, and rode to Philadelphia and read it to the Continental Congress. And therefore, you get your nickname for this team. Charlotte Independence, in their first year in the USL, opened up their season at home against the Charleston Battery. As I said earlier, the only team to defeat the Rochester Rhinos this season, the only team to score more than 2 goals against the Rochester Rhinos in a game this season. Rochester just having one of those storybook years this year, refusing to concede goals. We saw the Rhinos here at Red Bull Arena on the first week. New York played the Rhinos in their first home game of the season a few weeks later, and potentially could meet up as well again in the playoffs. Castano off his line early here. Alvarez gets a touch to it. Castano now battling with him. It's an open goal. Del Piccolo can't put it on frame. Santiago Castano, for the second time this game, caught at a goal. Coach Wolenek cannot be happy with that at all. Castano, it looked like he read the play well, was right there to clean it up, but tried to chest it down rather than clear it out on his first touch. Allowed Carlos Alvarez to challenge him. And fortunate for New York that Del Piccolo couldn't get his shot on frame. New York preparing to make their first substitution of the game, but Enzo Martinez trying to hurt them again, and he pulls his shot wide for New York. Exactly what we heard from Coach Wolenek. In bad positions when they turn the ball over, even when they're moving into the attack, have to make sure they're defensively sound. Jamie Thomas is going to be the one to check into this game. Most likely, you'd think it's got to be for Ronald Zubar. He's not slated to go long here. Hasn't played in a professional soccer game since June 28th. That was against NYCFC and a 3-1 victory at Yankee Stadium. And he gets himself 35 minutes here today to get his legs fresh, to start to work his way back into fitness. He goes off to an applause. Jamie Thomas comes in now. Jamie Thomas here, coming off the bench for the 4th time this season, his 18th appearance on the year. And Ronald Zubar now heads back to the bench. Of course, all USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with USL YouTube channel today. Your next 2 home games will be here on NewYorkRedBulls.com, as well as a potential playoff game if New York's able to secure the 3rd or 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, or potentially the 1st or 2nd seed, still within touching distance of Louisville City and the Charleston Battery. Of course, up in 2nd place, New York Red Bulls on 32 points. Louisville City on 38 points. Louisville will be here at Red Bull Arena one more time this season. Jackson here on the switch. Martinez gets closed down, able to keep possession. 19 against 19 there. Jamie Thomas moving out to right back. Sean McClaws going to slot right in for Ronald Zubar at center back. So McClaws gets about 35 minutes at fullback. Manolo Sanchez with good acceleration to get away from Del Piccolo, and then the high cross over everyone and out for, I believe, eventually a goal kick. Yes, as referee Herrera pointing to the spot. You see there that fine running form and acceleration that Manolo Sanchez has to get away from his defender. Just that last bit of composure that he's still working on. Has had some good chances with the first team in Major League Soccer this season. He's hit the post a couple times, actually. Did you see that chance as it flies wide? Del Piccolo to Alvarez to Del Piccolo to Enzo Martinez. That time Stoltz, the number 19, wins it off of him. Manolo Sanchez once again sees he has that speed advantage. Slogic able to recover, makes the slide tackle. What a battle it has been between those two so far this game. Manolo Sanchez, the Clemson graduate, trying to take off there. Jamie Thomas now. Slogic once again in the right place at the right time. Leo Stoltz now trucking his way through the box, losing possession, and Jerome eventually able to clear. New York starting to really push the ball here over the last 5 minutes, looking for that game-tying goal. Daniel Jackson, our lone goal in the 23rd minute for Charlotte. Mistake there, and the turnover. Martinez flicks on for Alvarez. Alvarez now coming across the field. Got Jackson. Gets it to his feet. Roy Miller, though, able to win it away. And then puts it back to his goalkeeper. Composed defending there from the veteran, Roy Miller. This one high up in the air. Williams can't win it. Second one not won by anyone as well. This time jumps there a few times before Akinyote is eventually able to head it away. Carlos Alvarez, a player who's come with a lot of excitement around him, the second overall pick in the MLS Super Draft by Chivas USA out of the University of Connecticut. He got picked up by the Colorado Rapids in the dispersal draft before eventually being loaned out here. Got a couple of starts in MLS this season. Now, most likely will finish out the year with the Charlotte Independents. Excuse me, he was traded for Nathan Sturgis, of course, in Major League Soccer, not picked up in the dispersal draft. Caleb Calvert, who's on the bench here today, was the youngest homegrown signing in Chivas USA history, was picked up in the dispersal draft by the Colorado Rapids and has spent the full season on loan here with the Charlotte Independents, still just 18 years old. Roy Miller playing that one down the line right now. An offensive substitution not looking necessary as we get towards the end of the first half here as Mike Jeffrey's boys have a 1-0 lead against the New York Red Bulls. Don't forget the New York Red Bulls too. Next home match is Saturday, August 29th. Come see John Wolonek and Ibrahim Sakagia's boys take on the Wilmington Hammerheads. For tickets and more info, head to NewYorkRedBulls.com or call 1-844-22-RBNY2. That's 1-844-22-RBNY2. An opportunity to see some of the brightest young talent in the country. Tyler Adams, a starter for the US U17 national team, plays on this team. Dan Metzger, and lost to injury. Looks like he'll be a part of the US U23 Olympic qualifying coming up in October. Leo Stoltz, former Herman Trophy winner, is the best player in college soccer. Saramago puts that cross all the way through the box and out for a throw-in. So some of the most exciting young players in the country. You get a chance to come out here, sit up close and watch them play. The USL League, of course, continues to grow. 24 teams this season, 28-game regular season. It's already been voted on next season, an additional 2 games for a 30-game regular season. Expecting about 6 expansion teams. We've already gotten the announcement from 2 of them. The Rio Grande FC team has been announced, although they still are looking for a nickname. And FC Cincinnati, coming out this week and announcing that they will be a team. It's the second yellow card of the game is issued by Jaime Herrera here in the 43rd minute to Anatola Bong. So Bolo Akinyode and Anatola Bong with yellow cards here in the first half. The lone goal so far still stands for Daniel Jackson of the Charlotte Independents. Jackson getting his 3rd goal of the season, a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native. Played last year 16 times for the Carolina Railhawks, scoring 2 goals. Has already bettered that this season with 3 goals for Charlotte. Charlotte's had an interesting season. Have played the least amount of games in the Eastern Conference. Harrisburg City Islanders, who sit right in front of them on 28 points, have played 19. FC Montreal and Pittsburgh Riverhounds, New York Red Bulls, Richmond Kickers have all played 22 teams. When you talk to Coach Jeffries, he feels like they've played the hardest part of the schedule so far. Played Rochester twice, Charleston multiple times, Richmond as well as Louisville multiple times. So now's their chance to play the teams around them in the standings down the stretch to get all those games in hand out of the way and get some points. And they lead here as we get close to halftime, but maybe the best opportunity of the first half coming up. Leo Stoltz over this one, just off the corner of the 18-yard box. It's been a great battle of 19s here as Enzo Martinez, now a little bit of gamesmanship, standing right in front of Stoltz. Mike Jeffries lining up his wall. New York, you have to think, would commit some bodies here with just a few seconds left in the half. Anatola Bong, a great aerial target, as is Manolo Sanchez. Roy Miller and Mike DeFont getting themselves in the box here, as well as Bolo Akinyode, and you see Mike Jeffries. This one floated in, and Lamson takes it. He's able to cleanly take it. And I'm not sure if Mike Jeffries has been sent to the locker room here or if he's just leaving early for halftime, as we have official confirmation a minimum of 1 additional minutes here in the second half. Get confirmation for you over halftime whether or not Mike Jeffries has been sent off. Be an unfortunate way to end what must be a pleasing first half for him. His teams play toe-to-toe here on the road, looking for their first road win of the season. Daniel Jackson with the lone goal. Mistake there from Duckett. Saramago in his first USL start, looking to turn it the other way. Kalungi able to recover, just get enough to it, but it stays alive in the box now. Manolo Sanchez with the hands in the back there of Slogic, and he gets called for the foul. He doesn't like it. Jaime Herrera making the call, and you saw his arms extend into the back of Slogic, making it an easy call for the referee. Lamson now. There's been a lot of action in front of him. From side to side, crosses whipped in, but not enough to trouble him so far here in the first half. Now there's just seconds left for New York to try and get one. Otherwise, they go into the locker room trailing. A lot to work on, as our head referee Herrera does finally call it. So Daniel Jackson, the 23rd minute goal, his 3rd of the season. The Pittsburgh native giving his Charlotte Independents a 1-0 lead as they look for their first road victory of the season, leading New York Red Bulls 2 here 1-0. We'll be back here on NewYorkRedBulls.com with all of your first half highlights as well as your second half action coming up right after the break. Back here on NewYorkRedBulls.com with your first half highlights. Daniel Jackson, he's had a good first half. Got it started off early in the 3rd minute. Castano able to make the save under pressure here from the height of Patrick Slogic, the 6'6" left back. Ronald Zubar with the best chance of the first half, cleared off the line by Carlos Alvarez. May not have been on frame anyway. And then Matt Lamson, the starting goalkeeper in his 7th start of the season, gets the assist as he goes full field off the goal kick. Daniel Jackson, you see there, skips by Castano and then calm and coolly clips it to that far post and in to the back of the net for the only goal of the first half. Matt Lamson with his first assist of the season, as you'd expect for a goalkeeper. Daniel Jackson with his 3rd goal of the season. So New York now at home, forced to chase the game, coming out here in the second half. Ronald Zubar subbed out in the first half as we expected. Here in the second half, Colin Heffron has subbed in at left back in place of Roy Miller. So the 2 international defenders on the back line trying to get some minutes from the first team. Both out now. The USL players full-time take over. Akinyode there, who got a yellow card in the first half. Confirmation at halftime, Mike Jeffries was sent off or kicked out of this game, however you want to call it. Sent to the locker room just a minute before halftime. Was caught down about at the 18 of his team when they were trying to defend that Leo Stoltz free kick. Yelling at the referee. So Jaime Herrera sending him to the locker room to watch this second half. Carlos Alvarez now trying to make it a 2-goal lead. Slips between 2 defenders. Goes down. No call made. Herrera right on top of the play, exactly where he had to be. Firmly making that call. Alvarez beat 1 defender. Looked to get by the second one. Definitely a collision, but calling no foul. Looks like Sean McClaw's there yelling at Alvarez. Alvarez had his hands up asking for the call as it was not made. Charlotte yet to make a substitution. New York has made 2 so far. Mishak Jerome forced to come off now, I believe. He had a bracelet on that the 4th official here today saw and told him that he had to take off. They said he had to come off to take it. Andrew Itel, our 4th official. And Mishak Jerome waiting to come back on. Leo Stoltz here playing Saramaga into space. Kalungi able to knock it away, the Ugandan international. Henry making that play. Jamie Thomas throws it in. Leo Stoltz there with the good curled ball. Saramago with the flick on and can't direct it home. Brian Saramago in his first ever USL start trying to get the goal there. A player who's used to scoring goals. Scored 31 goals with the Red Bulls U16s this season. As a team, they outscored their opponents 74-19 on the year, losing in the national championships to FC Dallas. And you see there, Saramago's got the right idea, trying to flick it on to that far post. Just couldn't get enough of a touch to it to curve the angle. But definitely a player who's got that goal-scoring instinct. DeFont now working it across the back line. Sanchez off of Alvarez now. Sanchez got 4 defenders around him. Can he find a teammate? Saramago flicks it back on. Manolo Sanchez couldn't get a grasp of it. Got stuck in the spokes there. And the ball held up on him. Martinez looking to counter. But Colin Heffron able to handle that one easily. Saramago now turning and running at Duckett. Bilal Duckett able to make the tackle, bodies off Saramago, and plays it off him for the goal kick. That's what happens when you get a player like Bilal Duckett. Played 4 years at Notre Dame before being drafted in 2011 Super Draft by the Vancouver Whitecaps. Spent some time with the New England Revolution before arriving here at the Charlotte Independence. Started now 16 of his 17 appearances. Showing a little bit of experience going up against a player in Saramago's in his first ever professional start. But Saramago has held his own, has battled throughout this game very well. Castano under a little bit of pressure turns it over. We saw in the first half Castano get caught out of goal. Del Piccolo had a shot on an open frame, just couldn't get it on. Under a little bit of defensive pressure. Now New York pressing high. Duckett goes wide. McClaws out there. He started the game out at right back. Ball stays alive. And awkwardly there, Zahorski went to ground. Anatola Bong still out there in this one. Looking to get his USL goal scoring account back opened after being dominant early on in the season. Williams with time and space into Stoltz. Good job from him to spray it wide. Manolo Sanchez had the step there. Jamie Thomas could put it in his path. But once again, Patrick Slogic standing strong and holding his team up at that right back position. Excuse me, left back. Taking quickly to Thomas. He floats it back in. Lamson out. Didn't get a hand to it. We'll see who this goes off of. Eventually off Anatola Bong. Bong has that great height, challenged Lamson in the air off the floated ball. Don't forget to visit the new USLsoccer.com, get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub, USLsoccer.com. One out off the foot of Ribeiro. He's quietly done his job at the base of that midfield that he's done all season for Coach Jeffries. Abong sprays it wide now to Sanchez. Slogic again in a one-on-one, and again he blocks away the cross. Patrick Slogic has been something special so far here today. Stoltz here, playing with a lot of confidence the last few weeks. Really starting to settle into the professional game. Battle in the corner between him and Alvarez, and it goes out off him for a goal kick. Zahorski has been the target on most of the goal kicks. The goal came off one of those. He battled out Mike DeFont, although neither of them got the touch. You see now Bolo Akinyode trying to match up with him off the goal kick to win that first aerial. Zahorski dropping deep, looking to create. Kalungi. That one turned over. Only to the feet of DePiccolo. Alvarez trying to link up with Martinez. Enzo Martinez, a national champion with UNC. down in Chapel Hill. Was drafted by RSL. Never appeared for RSL in a Major League Soccer game. He spent his time very successfully in the lower divisions. Scored 3 goals for the Carolina Railhawks. His first year, 6 goals last year for the Railhawks before arriving here with Charlotte, where he's had the opportunity to play with his brother. Of course, Alex Martinez not here today. Now Enzo looking to get himself a goal and pulls that shot wide. No deflection, says Herrera. Enzo Martinez not happy with the call. Castano restarts it quickly. Mike Jeffries has already been sent off now. His assistant's complaining to the referee as well. Slogic for the 1-2 from Zahorski. Enzo Martinez has been active so far this game, popping up both sides of the field, supporting his center forward, as well as coming back to win the ball off the back line. Abang trying to lay that one off. Ribeiro won it well. Zahorski now dropping deep for possession. Charlotte in no rush to go anywhere, leading through Daniel Jackson's 23rd minute goal. Mishak Jerome now over the top. Jerome 4 starts in all 4 of Haiti's games in the Gold Cup, including in the quarterfinals against Jamaica, as well as in their 1-0 loss at Gillette Stadium to the United States. Jerome now 22 caps for Haiti and will look to be a part of their World Cup qualifying. As Carlos Alvarez gets taken down. Alvarez of both U.S. and Mexican national team potential, since we're talking about it. Enzo Martinez wide to the goal scorer, Jackson. Cross coming in. Dominic Baji was supposed to start at right midfield today. Had 2 goals last week in his second game on loan from Colorado against New York. He wasn't able to pass a late fitness test. And I believe there was a collision between Jamie Thomas and Zahorski earlier in this play that the assistant referee put his hand up for and was finally called. Manolo Sanchez loses out there to Jerome. Won, though, by Jamie Thomas. Don't forget to become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. Anatole Abang here may not have a lot of minutes left here in this game. Can he get his 5th USL goal of the season? Cross played in, cleared by Bilal Duckett. Stoles looking to take. Heffron's got his hand up at the far post, you see there. New York trying to breach that goal right there. Matt Lamson. DeFont with the header. That one curls wide as well. So a couple of good headed opportunities for New York in this game. Zubar, Saramago, and DeFont, but they haven't been able to get it on frame. Stefano Bonomo getting set to play in his 4th ever USL game. Out of the University of California. Spent some time overseas. A couple trials in a range of countries, from Italy to Poland and England, before eventually coming to New York. And that man gets in. Zahorski saved by Castano, and Daniel Jackson hits the crossbar. Jackson looking for his 2nd of the game. He wasn't able to finish. He thought Zahorski in one-on-one would be. See at the beginning of the play, Zahorski and DeFont getting into a collision. DeFont going to ground, leaving Zahorski wide open, and Santiago Castano with the game-saving play there off the right foot. And then Daniel Jackson trying to calmly side-foot it in and hits the crossbar. So we have an offside call here. Looks like a card coming for Carlos Alvarez from Jaime Herrera. Or maybe the card's going to Sean McLaws. Thought McLaws was just complaining about the play. In between that, Brian Saramago subs off. Stefano Bonomo comes on. So Bonomo going to go out wide left in place of Saramago, and this probably where he's more comfortable. Stands at 6'2", but not known as a target striker in his career. More of a second forward. So an opportunity now with the Bong on the field to not have to carry the load at center forward. Able here maybe to run at defenders a little bit more, create a little bit more for this New York 2 team. Long touch there. Enzo Martinez coming back, doing the dirty defensive work for his team as they look to hold on to this 1-0 lead. Just about 60 minutes played here at Red Bull Arena, NewYorkRedBulls.com. I'm David Goss, joining you for every New York Red Bulls 2 home game. It's the New York Red Bulls 2 host the Charlotte Independents, New York at 9-8-5, Charlotte at 6-6-6, looking for their first road win of the USL season. What would be the first road win of their franchise in USL play. And Daniel Jackson, the man on that far side with the lone goal so far in the 23rd minute. And the assist going to none other than starting goalkeeper Matt Lamson. Don't forget to follow New York Red Bulls 2 on Twitter and Facebook at NYRB2. Join the conversation for this match on social media using the hashtag NYBCTL. We love the interaction with our fans on Twitter. Just to let Tolstoy FC know, Tyler Adams is out of this game because he is heading away with the US U17s starting tomorrow. So I apologize if I misspoke earlier. And Bolo Akinyode already sitting on a yellow card here. Took out Zahorski. Tomasz Zahorski slowly getting up. Akinyode fortunate there to avoid a second yellow. We'll see if Coach Wolenek tries to defuse that situation before it becomes a problem. He's got a few different options on the bench to move his lineup around. Alvarez now to shoot. Curls it towards the far post and wide. We've seen flashes of that ability that Carlos Alvarez has. Still only 24 years old. Appeared 40 times for Chivas USA in Major League Soccer, scoring 2 goals. Lamson coming out as that ball just comes across the 18, allowing him to pick it up. Charlotte, the best chance of this second half. Zahorski in on goal. A big-time save made by Castaño. And Daniel Jackson on the rebound. It looked like was going to side foot it home, but hit the crossbar, keeping New York alive. A few half chances for New York, a header for Saramago as well as for Mike DeFont off a corner kick. Anatola Bong, who was really tearing up USL competition earlier in the season before then going on to tear up Major League Soccer competition later in the season. Not much of a surprise for the young Cameroonian. Hasn't had the look so far today. Saw early in the game his ability to get around Mishak Jerome and run the length of the field with the ball. Couldn't get a shot opportunity there and hasn't had a lot of great looks besides it, and might be end of his game as Chris Sanas prepares to come on. Mike DeFont clears that one out. Bonomo, who just came on the field, losing possession there. A little bit maybe too much fancy footwork from New York in their own half. Now they finally are able to clear. And now Anatola Bong gets it taken off him by Duckett. Martinez does a good job keeping possession before Bong finally wins it back. Williams here in his own half. New York getting caught in a couple bad turnovers over the last minute. Finally able to break the pressure. And then another mistake there on the pass from Bonomo. New York maybe showing a little bit of fatigue. 3 games in a week now. 2 on the road for this one here at home. Second time they've played Charlotte in the last 7 days. As the crowd looks to get behind their team, maybe recognizing the need for the energy. Red Bull Arena starts to pick up here. Harrison, New Jersey, Manolo Sanchez thrown off the ball, and the foul goes against to Piccolo there. Chris Sanis preparing to check in for Anatol Abang. Abang here on the ball. And that might be his last action of the game. The foul goes against him. Jaime Herrera actually holding off the substitution, so giving Abang the opportunity to maybe close on a better note. Excuse me, now he allows the substitution. So that'll be it for Anatol Abang. In his 6th start in USL action. He'll finish without a goal, 4 so far on the season. Opportunity to get 65 minutes of competitive action under his belt. As Chris Sanis now checks back in. His 21st appearance of the season. He's got 5 goals and 2 assists. He's been on fire lately for this team. He's been the starting center forward. Don't forget the next upcoming home match is Saturday, August 29th, as the Wilmington Hammerheads come to town. For tickets and more info, log on to NewYorkRedBulls.com or call 1-844-22-NYRB2. 1-844-22-NYRB2. Bonomo here looking to counter. Chris Sanis with his first touch of the game. Back to Stoltz. Leo Stoltz looking to carve open some space for his teammates. Knocked out in the end by Ribeiro, who's been just a foot away every time Stoltz has gotten on the ball. Sanis now playing the center forward role. Sanchez looks to curl it in for Bonomo, touched by Lamson. An open goal now. Stoltz can't turn and shoot. Gets it onto his right foot, but blocked away. The crowd wanted him to shoot instantly with Lamson out of frame. Couldn't get his body turned around quick enough. Now Colin Heffron with the collision after the play is the best opportunity of the game there for New York Red Bulls too. Manolo Sanchez with the curled in cross. Lamson made the diving touch to keep it away from Bonomo. Landed to the feet of Leo Stoltz. Just couldn't get himself turned around for a shot on goal before the Charlotte Independence defense recovered. Charlotte's defended solidly so far. They've been the better in the attack throughout this game here in Harrison, New Jersey on a cool Wednesday evening. Something we haven't been able to say much in the New York area over the past, New York, New Jersey area, of course, over the past few months. Perfect night for a soccer game here. Del Piccolo, ball in. Speedy Williams has had another productive and quiet night. Manolo Sanchez with a lot of pressure on him. He's able to get away from it. Looking to link up with Sanis. Sanis now able to find Akinyode. Acres of space here in the midfield. Williams looking for an outlet. Gets it wide to Manolo, but just an inch too far and out for New York now chasing this goal as we approach 20 minutes. They were tied 1-1 against St. Louis FC in their last home game. Franklin Castellanos and Daniel Bedoya came off the bench to link up for an stoppage time game-winning goal there. Leo Stoltz with a 73rd minute game-tying goal in their last matchup against Charlotte. So we've seen New York show some offensive life late in games. They've got Marius Obakop and Daniel Bedoya on the bench here today, who bring as much of an offensive threat as anyone. Bonomo here pressuring high. Lamson goes by him. He's already got a goal. Why not a dribble completed as well? Heffron here. No one looking to pressure him. Gets it off his feet. And we've seen this a few times now in the second half. Charlotte allowing New York's more defensive players time and space on the ball, and them not able to make Charlotte pay. That one's flicked out. Enzo Martinez able to get a step on Williams. He's got Zahorsky right next to him, and that's it. Able to keep possession well there to the foot of Carlos Alvarez. Charlotte now in no rush to attack. Looking to hold possession when they can. Akinyode, though, breaks it up. Jamie Thomas closed on quickly. Lands at the foot of McLaws. He looks to play Tsanis into space. Meshach Jerome almost beating Matt Lamson there with the back pass. Puts it on frame and to the side of Lamson, but Lamson able to recover. Williams there with a good tackle in space. Leo Schultz now starting the attack. Tsanis back to Bonomo. The shot saved by Lamson. The follow-up and out of bounds for a corner kick. Great interchange there. The win on the tackle by Williams. Stoltz, the layoff from Tsanis, and Stefano Bonomo shows you why Jesse Marsh has been so fond of this player for the last few years, taking him in the third round, the 2015 MLS Super Draft. Bonomo with the powerful strike. Leo Stoltz now with the corner kick played in, flicked on by Bonomo, and off the line this time once again by Carlos Alvarez. The second time this game he's cleared a ball off the line on a corner kick. New York Red Bulls, too, start to turn the screws. The crowd reacting as New York looking to push for the first goal of the game for them, trying to tie this one up. Williams with space on the top of the box, puts it in. Bonomo open, and he finally scores! Stefano Bonomo with his first professional goal for New York Red Bulls, too. He was stopped by Lamson a minute ago, had a header cleared off the line by Alvarez just seconds after, and he finally, on the third successive play, gets the goal. Devin Speedy Williams with his second assist of the season, puts it on a plate. No defender following there, nothing Matt Lamson can do. As the Charlotte Independence backline stepped up, Bonomo snuck into space behind and slots his header home for the game-tying goal in the 73rd minute. As we get official confirmation there, so Devin Speedy Williams, his second assist of the season. Stefano Bonomo, his first professional goal. As the Cal Berkeley man gets it done there. Don't forget to follow USL on Twitter, become a league insider, join club conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. It's at USL. And also follow at NYRB2, at New York Red Bulls, and a shameless plug, you can follow at Empire Goss, spelled G-A-S-S, just in case you want to know what type of tacos I'm eating tomorrow. Foul called here by Jaime Herrera. Coach Wolnick, 4 substitutions made so far, and so far it's worked. Stefano Bonomo getting the goal. Leo Stoltz tied the game in the 72nd minute last week down in Charlotte, North Carolina. As that one tied 2-2. Bonomo here in the 73rd minute with the game tying goal. But could there be a winner left in this one? We've seen almost every single New York Red Bulls 2 home game late action. And potentially could be seeing some more here today. As it looks like Raphael Cox is preparing to come on for Charlotte. The University of Washington Husky. But first we have Enzo Martinez here over this set piece. He floats it in. Manolo Sanchez rising and winning. Williams looking to clear it. Sanas finally does. No one upfield though. Mishak Jerome. Like made a little bit of contact with the ball with his hand there. Right in front of Coach Wolenek, who had his hand up. No call made. We'll see if the substitution now does finally come. So Raphael Cox is checking in. Looks like it's going to be our goal scorer, Daniel Jackson, coming off. So Jackson leaves the lone goal of the game for his team in the 23rd minute. For his 3rd goal of the season, the Pittsburgh native almost made it 2-0, hitting the crossbar on that wild series. Zahorski was stonewalled by Castano. And Jackson with the follow-up hit the crossbar. What would have been a crucial goal for the Independents. Independents have drawn 3 road games so far this season. Yet to win a road game though, and that's what they were looking to do here today. Don't forget, Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information, or nike.com/soccer. Jerome clears there. Raphael Cox, an experienced player, drafted in 2009 by Real Salt Lake. Played in the NASL with Atlanta Silverbacks and Tampa Bay Rowdies before making his USL debut with the Harrisburg City Islanders. Stoltz there. He had Jamie Thomas on the 1-2 if he wanted to. Went for the cross. Cox now with his first touch. Charging into space. Going to play it into the path of Carlos Alvarez, who it's looked like swapped wings maybe with Cox. Cox now down the line. Collides with Thomas, no call made. Cox here bringing great energy to the field. Has run the entire minute he's been on, which may not be much for a professional soccer player, but is for us mere mortals. Akinyode able to block that cross there from Slajic. Sanas looking to bring it down. Mishak Jerome, what a creative clearance there. Good aggressive play from the center back. Kalungi plays it wide, kept in by Martinez. So Martinez has had a very good game here today, had 2 assists in the last matchup against New York Red Bulls 2 last week on both of Dominic Baji's goals. Didn't get the assist here today, but has been phenomenal in his back-to-back start. Only his 8th start of the season, but he's appeared in almost every single game. His brother Alex has started 15 games. Good ball wide from Akinyode. Manolo Sanchez there taking his time, eventually crossing. Deflected by Cox. Jerome now up to the feet of Zahorski. He's handled there between the 2 New York Red Bulls 2 defenders. Thomas able to keep possession just barely. Now Sanchez. Gonna get by Cox, and Slajic gets the cross in, but easily taken by Mishak Jerome. So Horsky looking to get by McClaws, and McClaws able to recover. Fortunate there for Sean McClaws. Caleb Calvert who I talked about a little bit earlier, Chivas USA homegrown signing. Still just 18 years old. Backup forward on this team, getting ready to come on, as is Marius Obakop. But can Charlotte make it 2-1 first? Cross all the way through. Bonomo not able to get back. Kalungi with the shot. The deflection back out to the goal scorer, Bonomo. Manolo Sanchez here. Marius Obakop preparing to come on. Might be for Manolo. Stoltz gets it wide to Bonomo. Bonomo had Sanas if he could play it early enough. Jerome able to recover. Bonomo maybe a little bit too casual getting out there to that ball. As Mike DeFont reads that play so well, does the Westchester native. To Piccolo there with the fantastic tackle on Stoltz. These two teams really starting to go at it. 80 minutes here at Red Bull Arena, New York Red Bulls 2, hosting the Charlotte Independence. New York at 5th place in the Eastern Conference right now. Charlotte currently in 8th place. But Charlotte, all those games in hand, still the opportunity to move up the standings. They've got 4 games in hand on New York, and they sit only 8 points behind. Now Henry Kalungi's going to get looked at a little bit by the trainer. New York trying to keep their spot in the playoffs. Currently 1 point behind the Richmond Kickers for 4th place. 3 points behind the Charleston Battery for 3rd place, although the Battery do have a game in hand. 1 point ahead of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who have a game in hand as well, for 6th place. So Manolo Sanchez night is finished as Marius Obakop checks on for him. Obakop is one great super sub to have offensively off the bench for New York. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists in 15 appearances so far this season. Don't forget, as this and all other USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. Caleb Calvert subbing in as well in place of Tomasz Zahorski. So Zahorski is done for the night. He had 1 clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity. Wasn't able to put it away. Santiago Castaño came up big with that save. Really the only action he's had over the last 30 minutes. Looks like the substitution now coming here. So Jack Metcalf checking into this one. In place of Kalungi. Metcalf looks like we'll slot that right back position. Maris out, Obakop going out to right, that right forward, right midfield position in place of Sanchez. Stoltz there with good feet, but Sanas not able to keep it under control. Metcalf drawing a free kick on his first touch of the game. As we approach the last 10 minutes here. And a familiar face. We'll check into this one. Michael Bustamante. We used to call this area home for about 3 years. The New York Red Bulls made 4 appearances in Major League Soccer after being taken in the 2013 supplemental draft out of BU by New York. He's been with the Charlotte Independence since the start of their season, has Bustamante. He's had the opportunity to say hi to a couple familiar faces before this one. Looking to get the lead here. Carlos Alvarez in the box, taken away at the last minute. Now Marius Obakop trying to launch the counter. Charlotte has numbers back. New York still looking to cut them open if they can. Bonomo tries to cross. That switch field ball, and Cox able to get it under control. Bustamante there getting his first taste of action. Sanis, he's got Obacop outside. Marius Obacop now cuts back, has Cox on his heels, gets by Cox on his left foot, up top to Sanis. Sanis trying to work it through to Bonomo, cleared away by Charlotte. New York starting to pinch the numbers forward, the fullbacks pushing up. Obacop losing out there. Piccolo gets it up the field to Bustamante. Bustamante now trying to hurt his former club if he can. His pass wayward, easily taken by Mike DeFont. Stoltz now working in that little bit of space. He's done well distributing throughout the game. Obacop now off the bench trying to get the goal. Curls it over the top of Lamson's net and out for a goal kick. The Crew SC homegrown signing. Not too worried there. Marius Obacop coming over. Same route as Anatol Abong. Here in his third year, the New York Red Bulls franchise had an assist on Abong's first goal against Houston of the Major League Soccer season. Heffron gets it taken away. Metcalf here. He's been in the game for about 3 minutes and has drawn 2 free kicks. So productive substitution for him so far. So he's defended well in place of Kalugny. Can either of these teams find a winner here? As we get down to the season, every point counts as these teams battle it out for the final few playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. Just getting in is the key in USL. Harrisburg City Islanders, last team in last year, made it all the way to the finals before falling at Bonnie Field out in Sacramento in the USL final. USL now expanding heavily this season. New teams like St. Louis FC, Colorado Switchbacks, Charlotte Independence, as well as MLS 2 affiliates, like the Real Monarchs, Vancouver Whitecaps too, Seattle Sounders too, Portland Timbers too, and of course, New York Red Bulls too. New York Red Bulls go on to face another MLS affiliate in Toronto FC 2 in their next game before coming home to face off against the Wilmington Hammerheads and then traveling to play FC Montreal. Not the toughest of schedules to close out. They do have Louisville City at home and Rochester Rhinos on the road, the top 2 teams in the East after this. But besides that, they play the bottom 3 teams in the conference. Bustamante here, his chance to cross. Put over the end line by Mike DeFont. And it'll be a corner kick to the Charlotte Independence. The Independents, we said from here, they go on for this home-and-home series against Pittsburgh, which is so important for them. Then they have Montreal, Toronto, and Wilmington back-to-back before they close out with Toronto, St. Louis, and Charleston. Can they get a winner here? Can they get their first road win of the victory? Excuse me, road victory of the season? Bonomo, the New York lone goal scorer of the game, able to win that throw in. And as Coach Jeffrey said before the game, fortunately currently in the locker room, maybe listening to this broadcast and giving him full credit, they played the tough teams already. They've seen Louisville City twice, Rochester twice, Richmond 3 times. They've played Charleston a handful of times as well. Now they get this stretch, 2 against New York, 2 against Pittsburgh, Montreal, Toronto, 2 against Wilmington. As I said, closing out with Toronto, a St. Louis team that sits behind them in the standings before they play third place Charleston Battery in the last game of the season. Chance to maybe pick up some points and move up the table. Obacop here may have Williams going down the line. He is able to keep possession. A foul coming here and a yellow card from Jaime Herrera. That one going to Caleb Calvert. So the 18-year-old picks up a yellow card in the 90th minute. We're still awaiting extra time. Looks like it's going to be a minimum of 3 minutes, though, when our fourth official does announce. So only a couple minutes left for these two teams to try and get a winner. Obacop and Stoltz looking to work it. Not a lot of space. Well defended by Charlotte as they've done all night outside of one small mistake. Looks like they may be on their way to picking up a fourth road draw. Our fourth official shows us a minimum of 3 minutes. Will be added on here. New York was able to do it in their last game against St. Louis FC with a 91st minute winner from Franklin Castellanos. Stefano Bonomo off the bench got his first professional goal here today as he draws the foul on Carlos Alvarez, who's had a productive, workmanlike night from the creative midfielder out of University of Connecticut. That pass from McClaws, missing the feet of Obacop. Fortunate to get it back, not a lot of time left. Stoll's there, losing out to Ribeiro. Andrew Ribeiro has carried and worn that captain's armband well here in this game. Charlotte Independence gonna get what would be a big road draw to go 0-2. These two teams against each other, not only on the season, but on the week. This is the second time they've matched up. And almost sliding in, can't win that one. But Sanas comes away with it. He's got numbers around him, and it goes against him. A handball called. Sanas thought he'd drawn the foul on Ribeiro and Herrera. Very rarely do you see the referee make that call, but Sanas gave him no choice. He either had to call the foul or the handball, and eventually he called the handball. Mishak Jerome will take this one. Not a lot of bodies going forward. Bilal Duckett had moved forward, but now comes back into his defensive role. Goes all the way back to Lamson as we approach 2 minutes of stoppage time here at Red Bull Arena. New York Red Bulls 2 and the Charlotte Independence looking for a winner here that could decide the playoff standings in the end. Slogic, who was phenomenal in this game, repelling attack after attack down the New York Red Bulls to right wing. Akinyode goes there again and right on cue. Slogic makes the tackle or wins the header. Akinyode now to Stoltz. Stoltz looking to turn. New York with seconds left here, trying to get numbers forward. DeFont hits it wide. Well played there. Colin Heffron is one-on-one with the substitute Metcalf. He's able to get by him to the near post. One in the end by Duckett. Heffron a second bite at it. Back out to DeFont. Into Speedy Williams. DeFont now making the run. The center back there with the shot. Wide of the far post. Excuse me, deflected. And out for a corner kick, but first a substitution. Ryan Finley trying to get on. Herrera tells our head referee, Jaime Herrera, tells him to wait. This could be the last chance of the game here. Leo Stoltz to take. Everybody forward for New York. 11 bodies in the box for Charlotte Independence. Leo Stoltz floats it in. Lamson goes up and is able to take it with bodies around him. What a play from the young goalkeeper, Matt Lamson, to keep this one tied 1-1. Most likely we'll be able to see this one out. So Charlotte Independence go on the road and do the same to New York as New York did to them Last week, a 1-1 draw here. Daniel Jackson in the 23rd minute with the goal. Stefano Bonomo ties it up, and let's look at the highlights here. Jackson got it started off early in the 3rd minute with that chance. Santiago Castaño had an active first half and a quiet second half. Zubar forcing Carlos Alvarez into the first of his goal line clearances of the night. And then Matt Lamson, the goalkeeper, picks up the assist on this goal kick. Daniel Jackson, the composure, to touch it around Castaño and clip it into the back post over the diving body of Mike DeFont, enjoying the beautiful road grass here in New York. The best chance of the second half for Charlotte. Zahorski there, saved by Castaño, and then the the goal scorer Jackson puts it off the post. Stefano Bonomo had a goal coming for him here, came off the bench, had that strike saved by Lamson, but then put out for a corner kick by Charlotte. And then after a goal line clearance from a Bonomo header, the next corner kick ends in this play. Speedy Williams with his 2nd assist of the season. Stefano Bonomo in just his 4th appearance for this New York Red Bulls 2 team, and he gets himself the goal. Don't forget to come out here. Only 2 more home games left. New York Red Bulls 2 host the Wilmington Hammerheads on August 29th here at Red Bull Arena. They travel on the road in their next game. And for Charlotte, they head to Pittsburgh for a crucial home-and-home series against the 6th place team in USL Soccer. As always, we thank you for joining us here on NewYorkRedBulls.com. For David Goss and everyone else here in our production, have a great night.